11 a.m. These are now going to be called, guys, the Morning Mentor Moments, and hello on YouTube as well. Let me get this set up just a little bit better. All right, guys, some fun stuff I want to go through with you today. Couple of key things. First off, again, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, the Freedom Calls are now going to be called the Morning Mentor Moments. They're going to be taking place on YouTube. They also take place right here on our Facebook page. So we've got that. Number two, the upcoming event, the Anaheim Ecom Summit, is taking place. It's going to be April 5th through the 7th, Friday through Sunday, 9 to 5. If you have registered, guys, I do recognize that there is an error in the email that goes out. But if you registered, you got that email, you're good. A fixed registration email will be coming out soon. So just look in your email box for that. I'll be sending that out. If you haven't signed up yet and you are interested in coming to the event, then go ahead and make sure that you drop in and sign up for it. We're going to have a ton of training coming at you. We're going to have a lot of different stuff, introducing some new things that are happening with Facebook. Third thing that I want to talk about, I may be going live a little bit later on this afternoon. I will drop a comment into the group, and I will send a text, and I will drop something into the Slack channel if I do that. I've got a buddy coming into town that is going to be staying with me this evening. And so we might hop on and do a quick little live Q&A type of thing. He is, guy's been working online for years, done some amazing things with it. And if you think I'm mindset, this guy puts me to shame. He's absolutely amazing. So I may have him on as a special guest if you guys are interested. And if not, I may do it anyway because I love the guy and he deserves the airtime and I know he can bring some value. So on that note, next thing I want to say is Happy International Women's Day. Happy day to all of you women out there. This is a day that we celebrate and we should do it each and every day. It's silly that it's just one day. I fully understand that. I celebrate you, celebrate women, celebrate, all of the special individuals that have helped make my life what it is. Obviously my mom first and foremost, my grandmothers. I do have a couple of pretty rock star sisters. And in their own ways, they have definitely helped motivate me. I celebrate the one that I was married to for 12 years, as many ups and downs as we had. She's still phenomenal in her own way and has done some wonderful things with the children. I am eternally grateful for the love of my life, the woman that I have with me to share my days with, and Sierra, who is my fiance back right there, and I've got pictures of her here, and she's all over my phone and all over everywhere else, and I love her to death. So I celebrate her today. Celebrate all of you guys, all of you women, in your own very special ways. So thank you for everything that you do on a consistent basis, for your families, for your friends, and for helping make this community that much better. I will fully admit that we have some amazing women that are members of this community, and you guys work hard to provide value on a consistent basis. You are typically more helpful than some of our male members, and it's just absolutely something that we love seeing. So thank you guys again for that. Also, the number one member that we have right now with Ecom, the person that has earned the most amount of revenue with my Ecom, and the training that she has received, is one of our lady members. So congratulations to her. I'm not going to shout her name out. I'll let her do that on a different time. I want to try and do an interview with her at some point. But she's working so hard in building her business. She is kind of hard to get into, get onto a call. So on that note, who are you guys? What are you doing? Are any of you ladies celebrating in any special way today? I'd like to know. Or are any of you men, are you doing anything to celebrate the women in your life? Or are you just now hearing this and going, holy hell, that's something I need to do? What are you guys doing today? So on that note, and I'm serious, give me something in the comments. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is something I talked about on Wednesday. So how many of you guys remember Wednesday? I was not here. I was not in my office. I was at Full Sail University. Little old me, I was somewhere else and getting ready to take the stage, as it were. And good, Mrs. G on YouTube saying she was out to breakfast with her girls. So congratulations. So All right, guys, you're ready to get into it. I talked to you on Wednesday about committing. I talked to you about creating something significant for yourself and breaking through to the next level. And this is why you need to do it. I want to talk about something today to help you understand a vicious kind of cycle that too many people are in. Okay, we're going to talk about a triangle today, and that on YouTube. That's what we've got here. So we're going to talk about something that I love talking about. You guys know how much I love drama. We're going to talk about drama today. Okay, so Eileeni, hello, good. Yoli made a list, good. Started today, hello. Let me see. All right, so we're gonna talk about a drama triangle, and I'm gonna talk about this. I'm gonna show you why it's important to you and your commitment. So a drama triangle, this is something that you can Google, okay? You can look this up. I didn't make this up. I love to say a lot of this stuff is mine, but it's not. So a drama triangle, this is kind of how it's set up. And I've got my notes here so I can help you guys see this. But a drama triangle, there's three types of people, right? First you have a rescuer, you have a persecutor, and then you have the victim. Okay? So we have inside of a drama triangle, and this happens, I promise, with a lot of your friendships, guys, but you have inside of a drama triangle on Facebook, on YouTube, you can see this. You have the rescuer, the persecutor, and the victim. Now, this is kind of how this works, guys. Woo, gotta love the lighting playing off of things. All right, so when you are the rescuer, and a lot of you guys are and play this role in one way or another. A lot of us play, one of those three roles, and because it's kind of cyclical, and you'll go from one to the other at different points in your life. A rescuer is someone that comes in and is always wanting to solve people's problems. And I fully admit that I tend to do this. Instead of listening to what other people have or what other people need, I want to solve the problems. That's me. I want to fix it. Right? I want to fix it for you. I want to take your pain away. I want to take the problem away. I want to just show you the most logical thing that you need to do to be better, because I've already been there and I can help you. And if you would just listen to me, if they would just do what I tell you to do, look at that poor soul, right? So that's the rescuer in the drama triangle. And I fully admit that oftentimes I am a rescuer there. Good. So a lot of you guys started that list, good, and we're gonna get to that, Eugenia and everybody else. We're gonna talk about that list in just a minute. I wanted to talk about this drama triangle and why it plays into that. So you have the rescuer on the drama triangle, right? The next one you have is a persecutor. Now I know a lot of you guys in this group are rescuers, but I know that we also have members from time to time that are, I'm trying to get my lighting right, sorry. There we go. All right. So a lot of you guys we have individuals that are persecutors. We have them. So here's what a persecutor does. A persecutor comes in and they see somebody else succeed, or they see somebody else do something, or something happens in their life. And what do? They immediately jump on this, they're wrong and I'm right. They're evil and I'm good, right? They're greedy and I'm helpful. They're going to get what's coming to them. That person doesn't deserve it. They're not doing what they should. How many of you guys know a persecutor? And be honest, how many of you at least subconsciously have at some point been that? I was talking with someone the other day, and he was saying, that's what I grew up with. I saw someone succeeding, and my mom or my dad and my grandma would say things like, oh, they're cheating the system. They must be doing something shady. Right? Oh, that company, and they say something. And we've had members that do that. If you start to stumble and if you start to fail, and if your immediate feeling is to throw blame at somebody else, then you got to root that persecutor out, right? But there's that persecutor that's there, right? Now, I'm not saying it's you individually. I'm not saying it's any of you on this call, although it may be. Let's be real. If we play the odds, someone on here is. But that is the reality. And if it's not you, it's sometimes it's someone around you, or it's we cycle through those. And then inevitably you have the victim, right? And the victim is the person that says, well, that always happens to me. Why can't I catch a break? I would succeed if, I should have been there by now. Why do they get to do it and I haven't? Well, I would be able to do it, but let me tell you why I can't, right? And so we get caught up in this triangle. And guys, the reality is if you're not one of those things right now, I'm going to tell you that you probably will be, unless you are super aware. And there are some key things that you can do to break this cycle as it goes on. I'm showing YouTube and Facebook, right? So guys, it cycles through, and you go from being a rescuer, but if you put yourself into this and you allow yourself to react in these ways, and you're constantly the rescuer, then I'm going to tell you right now, at some point you're going to be the persecutor. Because when you're rescuing people, you start pointing the finger at their problems and at things that, or you listen too much, you empathize too much, and you hear, or you sympathize too much. Not empathy. Empathy is a good thing. Sympathy is where you run into trouble. But when you sympathize too much, then you become the persecutor, because you say, damn, this person's struggling because of X. They're having issues because of Y. They'd have more success, and I'm trying to help them, but it's this problem over here. So you become the persecutor in this scenario. And if you play that role, inevitably, you will be the victim as well, even if you don't want to be, because you're caught in that cycle. And damn, that cycle is dirty, and it screws with your head, and it keeps you from succeeding at a higher level. And so the reason that I talked about, if you haven't yet seen, I did a short video on Wednesday, the last of the freedom calls, because the name is changing. But if you haven't listened, go back and listen to Wednesday, because we're talking about committing on a higher level. If you want to break this cycle, drop a 1 in the comments. If you're tired of falling in and out of this cycle, if maybe you touch it from time to time, you circle around, maybe you don't constantly, work in it, but maybe you are kind of like this orbit, right? Where you're not in there all of the time. Maybe your orbit is a little wider, right? You see that up on YouTube? Your orbit is a little wider, but you touch that same orbit from time to time, and you touch at points, and you step into the role of a victim, and you step into the role of a rescuer from time to time. And I'm telling you, it's going to screw with your success journey, and it's going to screw with your life, and you're going to have trouble and drama, and you're still part of that drama triangle. So if you're finally ready to change, I'm going to give you a couple of things that you need to do. I'm going to give you key things that you can say and think at each point of these, whether it's victim, rescuer, persecutor. I'm going to give you things that you can think and say to change that scenario. And I'm going to give you, and this is why we talked about commitment the other day, and committing at a very high level for a significant amount of time, if you're looking to really change what you want to do. Susan, here's something, and Susan, I'm going to pick on you in a loving way for a moment, and I hope you listen and listen with, understand all the love, because I do the same thing. And I was having a conversation with Sierra, with my fiance, about this the other day, about putting everybody else first and then putting yourself second. Putting yourself first occasionally doesn't mean that you are conceited or selfish or arrogant in any ways. It doesn't mean that you're greedy. What it means is that you value yourself, because if you always put someone else first, you're playing the victim. You're going back and forth between rescuer and victim, because then it always becomes a bred-in excuse. Hey, I would change, but I need to help my husband. I need to help my wife. I would do this, but my kids. I would help, but my friends. Well, I've got to go do whatever. See, that's what happens, Susan, when everything that you do is based on you being second. You diminish who you are, and you diminish what you're capable of. Now, as you build yourself and you reach your potential, imagine how many more you could help in that scenario. I'm not saying to be greedy, and I'm not saying not to help other people. And you should have a drive to have more impact on other people's lives. But understand that there has to be a balance. So here's a couple of quick things, right? Instead of being a victim, you need to learn to become a survivor. You need to be a survivor. And I'm going to come back around to victim because that's going to be our launching pad into the commitment level that I talked about the other day. So I'm going to come back around, but you're switching from a victim to survivor. And part of this is your gratitude list, and part of this is your success and your achievements and your level of commitment. And so we're coming back to being the victim. Now, if you're always playing the rescuer, if you are locked in to that role, to that scenario in your life, if you are always the rescuer or consistently, because there's typically one that we fall into more than the other. And I have a tendency to believe that the majority of us, and especially on this International Women's Day, let's be real, guys, it may not be politically correct, but women tend to be rescuers. They tend to give of themselves. They tend to put others first. And so you fall into that category. Instead of being a rescuer, you need to be a teacher and a coach. Instead of solving someone else's problems, you need to ask them things like, what is it you would like to see happen in this scenario? You have to help them solve the problem and allow them to solve the problem by asking questions and not giving answers. So if you are consistently being the rescuer, if you are consistently taking that role, you need to stop enabling and stop controlling and stop saying, well, if they just listened to me, they would get it right. You need to quit that. You need to allow them to live. And it is not an easy process. It's kind of like that first time when you go from, having your baby, your child always sleeping in the room with you or in the bed with you, and then they have to go into their room or sleep in their bed, and there's those nights of crying all the time, and you've just gotta let go. Right? The same thing has to happen. So that's how you become, you go from rescuer into teacher and coach. Okay? All right, let me see. All right, good. Susan, someone told you that you always need to change that. So good. All right, so rescuer, you're making that change. Persecutor. Instead of persecuting, instead of pointing the finger and saying they're going to get theirs, instead of pointing the finger and saying they're evil and I'm good, instead of doing that, challenge things on a healthy level, challenge the status quo, look for the best in you. And instead of standing on the trail, because here's the thing, if you're walking, imagine walking along a trail of life and you're trying to get from a dangerous point to safety. See, this is kind of where you get stuck, guys. Imagine you're walking along a mountain. Okay, I'm going to tell this story. You're walking along a mountain, you've got a dangerous point because off to one side you have a cliff. And you come upon what is a rock that could, or a hole that could be dangerous. And it's hard to see. And see, a rescuer will always just help other people past it. Right? A persecutor will stand there and will yell at other people and say, so-and-so dug this hole and this person did this and man, you got to watch out. And when you get further ahead, make sure that you point to those other people that didn't tell you about this and you tell them how bad they are. And a victim will fall in the hole and will whine and complain, and they will say, why didn't anyone tell me? Why am I always the one falling in? If you want to be successful, if you want to break that mold, then you walk up to that hole and you walk up to that dangerous scenario and you write a sign saying, hey, look out for this, and you keep moving, damn it. You keep going forward. You get out of this victim, oh my gosh, it's me. You get out of the rescuer, hey guys, I'm going to move you across. You get out of the persecution that says, hey, so-and-so built this and you need to watch out, because what do all of those people have in common? They're all still stuck at the hole. They're all still stuck. Nobody's moving forward, but you can. Okay, so you have to break that mold, and that's where you come back to the victim, right? And this is where we break this, and this is where we come up with the commitment that we talked about the other day. So this is what you need to do. If you guys have already started your list, and here's where, if you're ready to break that drama triangle, if you're ready to become somebody bigger and somebody better, and if you're ready to break that mold and change that drama triangle, this is, again, I need you to recommit. If you did already on Wednesday, now is the time. I commit. I want you to write in there, I commit. This is the time. Do you and are you ready? Because this is serious. This is dead serious. This is the difference between You rolling through life the way you always have and cycling through that drama triangle and living with the BS and blaming this person, then fixing that person, then complaining that you haven't gotten ahead. This is where you finally break that cycle and you take the next step. Now, a lot of you are action takers, but there are little things that you can change. Good, so Michael is ready, Tobogo's ready, Susan is ready. I know Adrian, I know some of you guys already wrote that you're ready and that you commit. So here's what you need to do. If you have not made that list, I'd like you to go back and watch Wednesday's call that I did. It was a short one, and I'm going to tell you about it here real quick, but I need you to commit to 5 things that you are going to do over the course of, I said 60 days. I'm extending for myself out to 6 months. You guys get to decide if 60 days is a huge thing, but here's what you're going to do. You're going to do 5 things that are not comfortable. You're going to do 5 things that are going to take you to the next level. You've got to pick 5 things that you are going to do each and every day that you do not normally do. So don't pick 5 habits you already have. Pick 5 things that you're going to do each and every day. Now, don't make these things that take an hour. Don't do that to yourself because you won't follow through. Maybe if all 5 take a combined hour, that's okay. But you need to do 5 things each and every day that are going to help you in your business, in your relationships, in your life, in whatever. You need to commit. So for me, simple things to begin with. It's 100 push-ups a day, 100 squats a day. That's one thing. I'm going to create written and video content each and every day. Every single day. Now, it takes a lot of work to do that. So that's one thing I'm going to do. And then there's some personal things that I'm going to do that I'm just not going to share. But I've got my list of 5 things that I'm going to do each and every day for the next 6 months because I'm ready to level up. Now, I will tell you this. If I hit something and I miss a day, I'm starting over. And that's the challenge. So that's why I say go 60 days. If you're not used to creating habits like this, if you're not used to doing it, then go 60 days. Don't go crazy, right? I want to go above and beyond and do something nuts this year. The next 2 years of my life are going to be tremendous and huge and scary, and it scares the hell out of me, but damn it, I'm going to do it. And so I'm committing to 5 things for the next 6 months, each and every day. And if I miss a day, I'm starting over. So if you guys are willing to share some of those things, great. Now's the time to do it. Drop a list into the comments and let me know a couple of the things. You don't have to say each and every one because some of them should be personal. Some of them should be things that you don't want to share with everybody. Because this is the time that you get to break the mold. You get to get out of the drama triangle. You stop playing the victim. You stop blaming other people. You stop rescuing the rest. And you start living your life. And you start living your best life. And you start rising from the ashes and flying like the phoenix. On that note, my friends, I am out for the day. Well, not for the day. I will be back probably later on with my guest. I'll drop a comment in to the group. I'll post here and I will send out a text. I'll let you guys know. We'll probably just hop on for a little bit of a quick call because I got to create some content today. So that'll be part of it. Love you guys. And on that note, be amazing. Take action. Be the best that you can.